How you doing, Robert?
Doing great, doing great.
Keith, you should be good to go.
All right, sounds good. So appreciate everybody being here. I know in a minute Mike's going to introduce some of the folks from the consulting firms that are joining us. And I'm Keith Sanders. Like last month, I'm temporarily just the acting chair since Diane Napier is in Africa. And what had happened is she had expected to be back a few days ago, but her movement between countries in Africa was delaying her. So she won't be back till I think March 7th. So I'm just acting chair, and just for the record again, Davin, as acting chair, I still get to vote for the to help for the quorum there. So um, and we do have a quorum since we've got, let's see, we got David, Robert, Craig, and myself here as far as board members. Uh, Mike, to start, you want to give us intro of the visitors that we have?
Sure. Well, as you all know, we have a new consulting firm that'll take over on the runway 220 project with the construction phase. And Holt, they're still with us, of course, and we're glad they are. They're working to finish up the taxiway A and the Schedule A and Schedule B side, and then also doing the design with on 2 and 20 as well. So everybody knows Chris with Holt. He's in the center there, and then so Peter Hughes with our RSNH is below Chris, and then below Peter is Brian Thompson, and then Peter, do you want to introduce Camera?
Yeah, thanks everyone. Joining us today is Camera Dunn. She's one of our younger, brighter engineers who's going to be working with us and helping out on some of the construction, kind of some of the background PM stuff. Camera, I'll let you say just a little bit about yourself and your experience that you have here in wonderful Georgia, but she's also based out of the Atlanta office with me as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Camera Dunn. I have about 4 years of aviation experience. I'll be acting as construction management PM, hopefully. This will be my first one, and I'm excited to jump in.
Well, thank you. All right, that's the introduction there, Keith.
All right, appreciate it. So Brian, Peter, Camera, and Chris, of course, we appreciate y'all joining and being on board with the airport and helping us with our goals and everything. So appreciate you attending today and all. Let's see, I think the first agenda item that we have is just, and by the way, let me just mention also, I meant to, is just kind of the quick intro there, is that Diane mentioned that she was delayed. She seemed to be enjoying her time there in Africa. She has elephants, as some of y'all members know of, that she's adopted, and she's going to different locations to meet those. So she seems to be having a real enjoyable time out there, but we expect that she'll be back for the March meeting. First item for us as far as action here is to approval for the board members to approve the January meeting minutes, which I know Davin set out earlier. And we'll just give it just a second if anybody needs a few seconds there to check back at those before I ask for someone for a motion to give a motion to approve those minutes. Any member want to give a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, so Craig did. Second? Robert? Okay, Robert seconds. Everybody in favor? Let's see, we can't see David. So David, you in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Robert's in favor, Craig's in favor, and I'm in favor. So we got 4 there that we need. So the January minutes are approved. The next, we go on back to Mike. Item 3, airport manager reports. Got a number of things there. Mike, you want to start out with financial and operations reports and related updates?
Yeah, can everybody see the financial report?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. So looking at our January financials, we had good sales, very good sales in jet. Avgas was about what we expect at this point in time. Not quite hit our monthly projection, but our Jet A has been tremendous. that's because, as I mentioned in the past, basketball's flying and they're flying the bigger aircraft. So that's really helped us. And we didn't anticipate that, when we did the budget. It just, we kind of anticipated them using the older aircraft, the smaller aircraft that they were using, but now they're flying in larger, the 737s and 717s and bigger regional jets too. So it's all been good. The leases, if you look at concessions, I think what happened is that the concession actually hit into the leases, and mostly what concessions is Hertz. That's the only thing that hits there, and I think it was mistakenly put into that. As you can see from the variance, it's pretty much a wash there. Airport fees, because of the tremendous traffic we've had and the larger aircraft that we've had, we've been able to, show that revenue as well. And then going on down to our cost of goods, we had 33,000 for the avgas. That's one load right there for avgas, and then Jet A 126. So we still had a pretty good profit there. Administrative, service, airport services, maintenance, all of that's within line pretty much right there. We did have to buy something for the airport services. And honestly, I didn't write it down. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, it was right around $3,000. So it did hit this month. And then everything else pretty much in line. Our bottom for the month was 74,000. We're happy with that. It was that's better than last month. And I remember saying this month I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but basketball's still flying. Now March, of course, it's going to slow down. April, let's see, April, May, June, July. That's kind of our weaker months, but all in all, we're very happy with where we are right now, especially going into those months with a good surplus, shown in our year to date. Our avgas gallons, 9,101. It's increased, and I'm happy to see that from December. It's kind of in line. October was a high month, but yeah, January, I'm happy to see that. The Jet A sales, very good. I'm happy to see that. And then operations, they're in line right now with the way things are. And we did next month, you're going to see that we did have to shut down the runway for about 3 days. We anticipated a week, and that was last week. But because of the localizer on the ILS, we're doing some work in the safety area. So when you see some numbers next month, I'll remind you about that. But that would be some of that. And then looking just at some graphs here, the Jet A sales with the 44,000, and then our avgas sales, 9,100. So all in all, I'm pretty pleased with the way January's turned out. I hope February is equally the same. Hopefully it will be. Any questions on the financials? Okay. Let's move on down to the capital improvement project updates. So we we have worked last week on the localizer, and some of the things that needed to be done was the taking out the old localizer and smoothing out that area where they were. That was a part of the project. And then Chris, and then what was some of the other things we had to do toward the borrow pit?
Yeah, so south of runway 9, there's a new detention pond that was part of the runway project. And the power that went to the localizer, the existing old localizer was in that area. So they couldn't finish the pond and put in some remaining drainage until that got de-energized. So last week when that was de-energized, they also finished the pond work. And the only thing left at the pond now is to pour an apron around an inlet. But so they were able to remove that old localizer, de-energize it, and also do the finishing up of the pond work south of runway 9.
And yesterday we put in the AT&T line. DBT, who's our contractor, who works on currently working on our ILS system. He's actually, I talked to him today, and I didn't tell you this, Chris, but he's gonna do the burn-in on Wednesday and align it all. And then hopefully by the following week, he'll have flight check out here, and we can get this thing turned back on. And then that'll be the end of the Schedule C, right? Okay, good. Now, things are changing all the time on Schedule A and B with Taxiway Alpha. So right now, we're in kind of a hiatus because of the cold weather and the paving and all of that. But in the meantime, we're working on the issues we've had with the rock that we found, and then also with the water line that we found is too high. It wasn't put in properly to the depth it should have been. So there's alternatives that we're talking to GDOT about. We had a good meeting today with GDOT and Holt and myself, and trying to find ways, to remedy this. And some of it is just leave it at grade. If we have to blast, we can. We just have to find the money, and that's kind of where we are right now on that project. So, we hope to. Hey, Brent, we hope to have this ironed out, hopefully by our next meeting, and I'll keep all of you in the loop on where it goes with this. But either way, we know that in the end we'll have a good product when we're done. So we're excited about that, and get that done. And then so 220, so Holt's been doing the design on that, and since RS&H is the consultant in the future, they've been working close with Holt, because Holt will pretty much hand off the project, and so they're working close to to make sure that everybody's happy on that end. But we're excited about getting runway 220 going, because that's a project and that's been needed, as Craig and David can tell you if they've ever used it. It's you could probably see, I don't know, you can see through some cracks, but it's been needed for a long time. I'm gonna have to work on the ROFA project. The FAA wants me to continue on that, so I will. I'm trying to get some of it's not so much trees as it is brush and vines and that kind of thing that have just kind of grown up, and it's mostly to the south of the main runway and west off the safety area. So I'm working on that as well. Any other projects that I'm missing? I will say this, that in the budget, we always talk about the self-serve, and I did put that in the budget, of course. We have a new what do you call him, like a rep, I guess, Titan. Our old rep, who kind of steered me in the direction of tapping into our tank, and using the hopefully money that we'll get in our new budget to just purchase the the equipment. And so this new rep is saying, you might want to look at maybe getting a tank, and if you do, maybe we can help you. So either way, we're going to get one. We're getting some money, and whether we get our own tank or they help us, or we tap into ours and they don't, we're getting that. Hopefully we're going to get one. So anyway, I do want to let you know that as well.
Mike, just asking on that, what would you say as an estimated time? You think this summer or fall for getting self-service working? I mean, I know there's a lot to go, but just as an estimate.
Well, the
latest
mayor,
estimate.
the mayor commission will approve the budget in sometime June, something like that, and it kicks in July 1st. Once we know, that's approved in that budget, we can move forward, and we can start ordering what we need, from Titan or suppliers. hopefully there
Okay.
won't be any lag in it, but
Also, Mike, and this is just, I know you and I talked briefly, I think if you're just going to give a real quick, just touch base about where one of the action suggestions came up about potential of land leases with T hangars. I know you haven't had a chance for any action yet, but just since I think Craig, David brought that up just as a pending thing, just we still got it on the plate at some point here.
yeah. Hey, Blaine. Yeah, we do. I've been talking to some airports right now, and I also talked to when I had my budget hearing, I talked to Blaine a little bit on the Athens-Clarke County side, but I'm going to be doing some studies on that. Also, there's some companies out there that are pretty reputable that I'm getting a lot of information from. So I'm just starting to put uh, pen to paper right now and getting some good information. Kind of give me that warm fuzzy feeling because I think I've told you and I know I've told Blaine that at one point in time this was kind of a new concept and I never warmed up to it because the whole thing is we want control of it so we can make money from it. But there is still money to be made, in that direction. So I'm looking at both sides. I'm putting it down on paper and seeing, which is best for us. Now we can definitely, get a loan for this and make it work on our end through rent. But rent's you probably I don't know. That's something I have to figure out as to what the rent would be. It would definitely be higher than what we have currently on the field. So, but then again, you've got a brand new facility that hopefully is bigger and can accommodate some of these cirruses that are coming in and they have absolutely maybe 3 inches on each wingtip to fit into some of the T hangers we've got. So there's an advantage there. But that's something, yeah, most definitely we're looking into.
Sounds good.
All right. Um, so as far as marketing and outreach activities, we had high school Lead Athens come about a week or so ago. That was very, very good. I mean, it was a great group of kids that came. We split them up because there was a bunch of them. I don't know, there might have been 40, 50, 60. I don't know, but they were all really, really good, really inquisitive, and really enjoyed the airport. I showed them, of course, the tour, my regular tour from the commercial terminal uh, to the firehouse, and then to the general aviation terminal, and then back on the around to the other terminal. So luckily we had a lot of activity here. We had some nice jets on the tarmac, and I think they enjoyed themselves. And I tell you, Grant's son was in it. Did he comment?
He said they had a great time. He said you know, I think part of it, if I remember the schedule, y'all fed them lunch, and of course,
Yeah.
whatever they're doing, they're happy about that. But he had a great time. They enjoyed it and just was really excited about it. He
Good.
wants to
That's
come
good.
back and see more. I think he said they got a chance to walk out and look
Hmm.
at a plane that had just landed. So for a
Yeah.
lot of them, that was the first time being up close, and he was, I think, surprised and shocked because his only experience has been at Hartsfield and other places
Yeah.
where the only place you can touch a plane is when you go down the tarmac and maybe or the whatever you call it and touch the plane when you go in, but to be up that close, so they had a great time. He enjoyed it.
That's great. That's why it's so important for like a like this organization, to bring kids out here because when we were all younger, we could get on an airport and just touch an airplane, and ask questions. You can't do that anymore,
Yeah.
But
I
so yeah,
forget
we're
their
excited.
exact schedule that day, but I think he said, and not in any order, but he said the airport and the recycle facility were were just amazing to him because he said I never anticipated that. So it was a good day.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
for
great.
working with them. They had a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and then I'm going to let Davin talk about ClearPoint. He's worked hard on this. He went to school, a little class, and he's learned a lot about it. And we made a few changes. But go ahead, Davin.
Yeah, so I got some training on ClearPoint, which was very helpful, and updated the priorities and the goals and the milestones that we have put forward in the past. So I included in the materials for this meeting just sort of a landing page of that to talk about where we are. And it seems like, we're on track at this point in time and have, really have accomplished a lot of things that were set out in that process. I'm happy to answer any questions, but that's just a brief overview, and feel free to take a look. And if there's something that I can answer, just let me know.
Yeah, let me ask Mike and Davin if we would want to include it in the March agenda, just to briefly touch base with where the airport is versus those items. I know we don't have it on the agenda for this one, I don't think. So maybe would March be a good time? It's sort of like a quarterly point, so.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. Yeah.
Okay.
We wanted to do it quarterly too. So yeah, I think that'd be great. And then possibly, we could all look at it and make some changes as we see needed. And that's kind of what we wanted to do with it. And then, report on it quarterly. But in the meantime, everybody kind of get their head together and look at it, say, things have changed. Let's change this up a little bit. Now, eventually, and I don't know, we might want to look at it. I know we've talked about it probably in a year. We might want to get together, as a group and kind of look at all of our planning again, because things have been changing, things change and, for the better.
Sounds good. Craig, David, Robert, Grant, anybody else have any thoughts on any of the items Mike just covered, including the last one there about the goals?
Not for me.
Nothing here also.
All right. Appreciate it, Mike and Davin. And in old business, we took off Lexington Highway project update. I think that's still in the data collection, or I'm going to assume that it is data collection phase. So we haven't heard of Blaine unless you know of something to speak in here. We'll just maybe bring that up later. And then on B, Robert, we've got Clarke County School District update. And I'm thinking, since I think the news over the last week is that the school district is maybe changing the practices with the masks and all of that. I don't know if that may change things at some point going forward, but any updates you want to give us?
Well, I'll say that it's still incremental changes that they're making within the school system, because just last week, some of the schools are letting visitors in. So quite naturally, they aren't going out and going anywhere. So once they let visitors in, the masks are coming off, the mandate for the mask and everything. Hopefully, we can then get the students out of the schools into the community a little bit more as far as that is concerned. So we're really still, if I can use the in that holding pattern of saying we're available and ready, come on and see us, but the year is vastly dwindling down, but we're gonna make sure we keep making them aware that the airport is still welcoming to them.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's see, then we had the annual report. Davin, Mike, you want to talk about that, where we stand with, I know the printing. I know you guys gave me a copy of the one when I was out at the airport last week. Mike, Davin, you want to kind of go through any updates there?
Sure, I'll start, Davin. Davin did a great job on that. I mean, putting it together and getting with the printers. We did get a copy of it, and then Davin's implemented some resources and avenues that we can put it on. Go ahead, Davin.
Yeah. So we have about 200 copies. Let me know if you want me to mail you a copy. Happy to do that. You can also stop by our offices and pick one up. So if you've got other folks that you want to share that with, let me know. I can either mail them out or can get them to you one way or another. There is also a copy of it on our website. So if you go under the About Us section, there is then an annual report section there. And so we have the FY FY21 and then the FY20 annual reports are both there. So, so those are up and running on our webpage. So feel free to let me know if you need anything or if I can share anything with you.
Sounds good. Next item that we have, just one under new business, kind of an abbreviated agenda for this meeting again. Under new business, we've just got events again. I know, Mike, you talked about the youth leadership Athens visit. Mike, to start us out, and then maybe David, Craig, if you want to chime in also, any events that anybody wants to share about. Mike, you want to, anything else?
I'm not aware of any events. I'll let Craig and David handle that.
Yeah, the next hot dog fly-in is this coming Saturday. Same as usual, 11 till 2, I think they do those. And come out if you haven't been to one. Hopefully the weather will play nicely, and hopefully we'll get some more planes coming in. I know I saw it in some of the Facebook groups that UGA Club had advertised it in, posted the flyer. If the weather's good, I haven't even looked to see what the weather is supposed to be like, and it's going to be gloomy kind of some of this week, but hopefully it'll be nice this weekend. We'll get some planes in, and we'll keep rocking and rolling with that. I got somebody from Red Bull reached out to me regarding a paper airplane event that they host, and they're looking for places to do it. They had very, very particular size and height requirements. I ran my tape measure through this commercial terminal, and it's not big enough, and I don't think we have the height necessary for. They want it indoors, but needed 30 feet of height. So unfortunately, that won't be at the airport, I don't think, unless, Mike, you have any ideas.
That Colvin hangar.
The Colvin hangar was the only other thing that I could think of potentially. So maybe I'll.
Okay.
Do we know the height of that?
No, but we can find out. I'll get you a height.
Yeah, I can reach back out. That was the only other idea, but.
Okay.
As soon as I looked up and remembered that there was an airplane hanging from the commercial terminal, I realized that wasn't going to cut it. So,
Yeah.
That's all I got.
All right. Let's see. We've got standing committees. Any issues, concerns, updates? Speaking for the Finance Committee, we don't really have any updates on anything. As we start to look at strategic plans and any follow-up with that, we'll get involved there as needed by the airport, as the board and everything. And Mike, operating, David, anything operating? No zoning or anything yet, right? Okay. Let's see, I guess, Grant, anything, airport services, development, marketing?
Not that I have, not that, other than what Mike has covered, unless you have something more.
Just a reminder that I'll be going to Arizona next month. Talking with, we pretty much isolated United, American, Allegiant, and SkyWest. And then he asked me about Breeze, which I'd like to talk to them. So I believe that's one I'll put on the list as well. We actually have Breeze coming in, or I think they already came in today at 2 with a basketball team, but that's a charter. But still, I'd like to talk to them. I'd like to know, what their plans are for the future.
Sounds good. All right, last is other business. Is our next meeting would be scheduled for March 22nd. Again, Diane is expected to be back well before then, so all that. Anyone have any, before we adjourn, anyone have any other items or anything else we need to consider for the next meeting or all? Anything else? All right, have someone wants to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, I think that's Grant and then Craig. Who wants to second? Anybody want a second?
Second.
Okay, Robert. All right. Then all in favor, raise hands. Let's see, Keith, David, Craig, Grant, Robert, we got everybody?
Yeah.
All right, that's the end of our meeting today. Thanks very much for everybody for joining and all the folks with Hope and everybody. So we appreciate that very much. Thank you all for joining today.
Thank you.
All right.